Fire in the hole. So tonight I want to talk about Colorado. They're introducing some new laws that they're trying to pass through their House and Senate, and they're trying to restrict a bunch of things. One is magazine capacity. Now, they were going for the traditional 10-round ban on magazines and limiting shotguns to 5 rounds. Luckily, the pro-gun side, though, was able to step up and convince them to bump that up to 15-round magazines and 8-round capacity for shotguns. The reason this is important is, unlike New York that did 7-round magazine caps on pistols and rifles, the 15-round magazine capacity pretty much lets all of the handguns, the vast majority of handguns are 15-round mags or less, sold by the manufacturers. So most of your standard high-capacity double-stacked magazines and pistols are 15 rounds or less. There's a few exceptions, but the vast majority are 15 rounds or less. So that pretty much makes it to where they're not really affecting the handgun market and they're not affecting the shotgun market since they bumped it to 8 rounds, because there are a lot of home defense shotguns that are 8-round tube magazine capacity. So bravo for the pro-gun side for getting that, at least that reasonableness pushed through on the Democrats. Again, magazine ban and capacity bans have not really ever shown to do any good. So let's look at what else they're doing. They're limiting the concealed handgun license holders to not go into stadiums or go on college campuses. That's the other bill they're trying to push through. I've not heard any stories about a concealed carry person in the state of Colorado or anywhere who has gotten into any problems on college campuses or in a stadium. I've heard of plenty of people who don't have concealed handgun licenses getting into trouble on colleges and in stadiums. So again, you're passing a bill that serves no purpose. It serves the public good in no way because it wasn't a problem to begin with. In fact, you want people like that in stadiums and in college campuses to protect people from the people who illegally bring them into those situations and start shootings. All right, so then they're also introducing universal background checks. And by this, they're going to have it to where every person in Colorado who's going to sell a gun to another private individual has to get a background check. The issue I have with this is that they say that if you sell it to someone and don't do a background check, that if that gun is used in a crime, you're going to be legally liable along with the person who did the crime. Well, how are they going to know it was your gun? The only way they would know is if they start a gun registration policy in Colorado. So now everyone in Colorado who buys a firearm is going to have the serial number registered to them every time they buy one. Again, this means a list of all gun owners in Colorado from now on will be compiled over the next bunch of years. The problem that arises is if they ever go and do an all-out firearms ban in Colorado, which I'm sure they would love to do, they now have a list of the vast majority of the firearm owners and the firearms they own. So again, registration always leads to confiscation at some point. That's the point of registration, for at least the anti-gunners. They'll say it isn't, but that's their end-game goal. That's what they would like to do. So they're very pro making lists of firearm owners. All right, so let's look at this. Colorado, I understand where this is coming from. And the reason I do is they have two unique things going on in Colorado. One is they have a lot more mass shootings over the past 15 years than other states have had. So they got a lot of mass shootings, so they have a population that has been in the news a lot. Colorado also has one other thing. They have a lot of liberals and hippies in Colorado. I was in Colorado this summer. I can't tell you how many people with dreadlocks and college-age kids walking around I saw up in Colorado Springs and in Denver. And I just told my wife, I was looking around like, what is going on here? And then later on I found out that Colorado was a place where you could get medical marijuana, and now they passed a law where you just can buy marijuana. So again, now it made sense to me. My observations are because there's a high population that are hippies and liberals there, which again, if you're a hippie or a liberal, move to Colorado, man. The place is great for you guys. Hey, have fun. I got no problem. Y'all go to Colorado and do what you will, but the problem I do have is when you start these crazy bills in the houses and getting them pushed through that affect the other residents who've been there forever. Colorado is a state that is very old-fashioned in the sense that they were a western state. They had prospectors and cowboys, and they had this tradition of firearm ownership that is very entrenched in them. And now they have a bunch of people coming in and moving into their state who are very liberal. And I feel sorry for some of the residents there that they have to have this influx of completely different attitudes taking over their state, this younger generation. Okay, so let's look at the shootings that have happened in Colorado to help understand, would these laws do any good? All right, so Columbine was the first big one. In Columbine, they did that during about 2 years into the first, or 3-4 years into the first assault weapons ban, and they legally bought all the firearms that they used in Columbine. They passed background checks, they got their guns, they had no criminal record at that point, they were over the age 18. So again, these laws wouldn't have stopped Columbine. Okay, there was a shooting at the Colorado church, at the New Life Church. A guy had a couple pistols and an AR-15. He shot some people up with the pistols before he went to the church, a day or so before. Went to the church, shot up a family. When he entered the church, he was stopped by a concealed carry holder, was shot by a concealed carry holder, and then killed himself. So the pastor says that concealed carry holder probably saved at least 100 people in the congregation. Again, that guy would have been changed from having a 30-round magazine in his AR-15 to a 15-round magazine in his AR-15, and he probably just would have loaded more 15-round mags. Again, he got shot before he could really use that extra rounds, so it was a moot point. All right, so there was a shooting in a church in Aurora 3 months before the theater shooting. The reason you didn't hear about it is because after the gunman with a pistol shot a lady in the parking lot, when he entered the church, the pastor's brother, who is a cop and off duty carrying a concealed handgun, shot him and killed him. So he only got one murder, and that's why you never heard about that mass shooting attempt, because it failed. And the New Life Church shooting failed as a mass murder attempt and didn't get much news either. So those are 2 attempted church mass murders in Colorado that were averted by concealed carry holders, and one was a cop and one was a former cop. So again, CHL holders do stop mass shooters in churches. Again, it's just a fact. It's happened twice in Colorado. Okay, the Aurora theater shooting. James Holmes walks in, has an AR-15, shoots about 30 rounds out of it, out of the 100-round drum. Drum jams, has to drop it, loses his primary weapon. He has a 12-gauge shotgun. He uses that. He then walks around with his pistol, uses his pistol. This ban would not affect the shotgun or the pistol used. It would not have stopped him from getting the AR-15 because he passed the background checks. The only difference is the drum mag would be illegal. Now, let's think about this. He could have gone in with multiple 15-round mags. None of those would have jammed, and he would have just kept using the 15-round mags until he decided to quit. Or he would have gotten the drum mag by simply going out of state and buying one. Okay? This is the problem that a lot of people don't realize is it's like when you have a dry town with a wet town neighboring it, and the people only have to drive 2 miles to go get their beer and wine. Okay? So they take all their money and go 2 miles over here to buy their beer and wine. Well, a mass shooter, all he's got to do, if he pre-plans it like Holmes did over an 8-month period, is he just has to go to another state, neighboring state, and buy the magazine he wants to get. Okay, so Colorado is making these rules and regulations that won't do anything to stop anything, and the mass shooters, if they're going to be premeditated, are just going to go around them anyway. Again, these mass shooters break tons of federal laws before they even get to killing people in general. They're making explosives in Colorado. Holmes and Columbine, they made at least 100 each improvised explosives. So again, it just proves the point that bad people are going to do bad things, and they're not going to be stopped by laws. So Colorado, I hope these laws don't pass, because you're going to lose Magpul out of your state. They're going to move to a neighboring state. But you're going to lose a lot of other people support. And again, if I would support these if I thought they would do any good. Again, and it's not just me. None of these initiatives you've put forth would stop any of the mass shootings that occurred in your state. So hopefully the people who are there will watch videos like this, and it'll dawn on them that even though the Obama administration is pushing for them to put forth these bills in their state, that they will not have any good effect for your populace, especially the limitations on CHL holders. I mean, that one, again, you haven't had a CHL holder shoot anyone in a stadium or a college campus that I know of, so why on earth are you even suggesting a bill like that? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, it's a very liberal, hippie idea. So hope that y'all enjoyed this video. As always, God bless America. Long live the Republic.